What is up, Kicking Out Podcast Nation? It's Wednesday night. It's August 30th, 2023. I'm Tanner Lee, along with my co-host Paul Zartman, Austin Shepard. We're all in the house tonight.
Champion.
And unfortunately, we have a new KOP Predictions champion in Austin Shepard who came down to the main event, but it looks like he won it pretty easily if you go by the numbers.
It was in the bag. In the bag. Once I won the women's match, it was in the bag.
No, really, you say it came down to the main event, but that women's match actually helped Shep for the first time in the entire time he's been on this podcast.
It did. But I will say, this is embarrassing. I got really excited when I thought it was a draw because I was going to win via tie. So they hook, line, and sinkered me. And then when Cole's like 5 more minutes, I'm like, no, MJF say no. And no, it was good. The main event I thought was awesome. Well, I guess, what'd you guys think of All In to begin? Backstage drama aside, what did you think of the actual show?
I thought it was a great show, honestly. Probably in contention for pay-per-view of the year for me.
I would agree with Paul. I thought the show was great. I thought they performed their ass off. We had some great hard-hitting matches. We had some real-life drama, and I'm not talking the backstage stuff. I'm talking the Soraya stuff. So the crowd was hot. The arena was hot. If I can knock on one thing, I thought the entrance stage could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm nitpicking, right? We're going to nitpick because I guess you can – I don't want to consider us media because I think media is awful nowadays. But like I figured we could have had a little bit bigger stage. I mean, we got 81,000 people, 8135, by the way.
Yes.
We have
official. That's a shoot.
That's a shoot, yeah. And I feel like we could have had a little bit bigger stage. We could have done a little something better. Now, I think we spent more money on the outside pyrotechnics than we did the stage.
Yeah.
But hey, that's here or there. Hot crowd, huge arena. Some really, really, really good matches. I think Tony Khan pulled off, I wouldn't call it the impossible, but he pulled this off and made it the largest professional wrestling event ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know some people were mad at the card, and you know, rightfully so, as far as the frustrations for the card coming together late. But I thought the card delivered pretty strong. I'll even say Ospreay Jericho came across a lot better than I ever imagined it was going to.
Yes.
Now, yeah.
If we had one negative part beside my little entrance thing, which I thought we could have explored that a little bit better, there's one thing we didn't have. Can you guys guess what I'm thinking? One thing we didn't have this whole pay-per-view. A surprise performer or a surprise return.
Yeah.
A surprise newbie or a surprise return. I felt like this we could have had a new signing. We could shock the world and bring somebody in here and we go, oh shit, Tony Khan spent some money.
Now during the 0 hour, it was kind of teased about Mercedes Moné, but
they showed her in the regular pay-per-view too in the crowd.
Yeah, and they brought her up after Soraya won the title. So you got to think they're going to be working together once she becomes healthy.
Yeah, because I did see some pictures that fans posted. She did have the boot on the leg, or the foot, whatever.
Well, that makes sense with her and Soraya. I mean, they're friends. They've had history in the past. That makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I was fine with Soraya winning it, getting that moment with the hometown pop. I mean, Shep and I both picked her. But I wish, looking back on it, I wish they would have never taken the title off of Tony Storm. She was just a placeholder. And I think with the story, especially with Storm accidentally hitting Soraya's mom, that would have made more sense. But
yeah. But I also think Tony did it just so Sheeta could say, I came out as champion in front of 81,000 people instead
Especially
of 5.
Yeah, when she had nothing at Daly's place, and she got that moment at Dynamite 200 of winning with the confetti, everything. So
Yep.
I get it. But no, overall, I thought it was a fun card. I thought it went by pretty quick. I mean, it's still a 4-hour
did.
show, 4.5 hours, but I still thought it went by pretty quick. And that main event was just beautiful storytelling the whole
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
The whole time.
Absolutely. Match of the night.
Yep, I thought so too. And
And the one thing I did notice, we talked about the crowd being hot. They weren't digging the Golden Elite versus the Bang Bang Gang.
well,
They came
were-
alive for Kenny, but that was about it.
Yeah, they were digging it when they made their entrances and everything, but there was a few matches, and you're not gonna please everybody. There was a few matches that were in tough spots for this card, I
Yes.
thought, but like the women's match was in a tough spot, but yeah, what are you gonna
It
do?
delivered.
Yep,
Well, it delivered because the finish was emotional
right,
and it got the crowd into it. So it was the right call. You know, whether they made that call early or late, it was the right one.
right. But all those people complaining about the build up to that card and everything, I sure hope they're complaining about the build up to the All Out card coming up Sunday because it
Oh,
looks like a
man.
little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
A little bit of a mess.
What even is that?
And we've been talking about this for over a year. We've always complained about not so storytelling, but maybe a build up to a big show. You build up to the biggest show you've ever had, and then you turn around and have a show 7 days later that is a requirement. Well, not a requirement, but a tradition.
Right.
And you're going to have it in the States. You're going to have it in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, how do you do that?
And Paul and I were just mentioning this before we got on air. Paul's like, I hope they learned a lesson from doing back to back. I'm like, Tony already announced that the post media scrum the other night that he's doing it again next year.
Well,
Yeah. I didn't watch the post media scrum. I was too afraid.
Well, they announced that during the broadcast,
Yep.
right before MJF and Adam Cole, that they're coming back in 2024.
And then they're doing all out
missed
again the
that.
very next week because he likes doing the bank holiday in England and then Labor Day. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe he gets through it this year and you live, you learn, and next year's better planned out. And I know there's been injuries, there's backstage drama that's getting involved, some people ill, which I guess through the wrench in the plans for tonight's Dynamite.
And of
I don't know.
course, I think some stuff has changed with Wyndham's passing too.
Sure. Yep. It sounds like because his funeral was supposed to be this week, and I think because of the hurricanes delayed to next week. So the Dynamite we're going to be at Indy's probably going to change a little bit.
I was so shocked at some of the names they announced for next week's Dynamite. One of them being Jericho, which I figured Jericho would be at that funeral, but
So maybe it's not happening on Wednesday because I'm sure Jericho would be there. They were pretty tight.
yeah.
So, but yeah, Jericho and Sammy as a tag team next week. That'll be fun.
Fingers crossed we actually get to sing Judas this year.
Exactly. So
Something has happened every single year in Indy where it doesn't happen, and man,
yep, every time. So
I just want to sing it once.
yep, it should happen this time. But
Paul's excited.
Paul's excited. And what are you drinking, Paul? What's in that glass?
Yeah, I lemonade. I
Lemonade.
just realized I went to take a drink, and then it dawned on me I never asked. Hey, Shep, what are we drinking tonight?
Well, we got a little bit of an issue. So again, Kettle, send me a free hat, send me something. Okay. I mean, we got that.
That's a darn near full bottle.
Well, it was a freshie. Yeah. You know, we try to start the week off with a fresh one, right? It's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
I know. That's beside the point. But I got to tell you a little bit of a story. I do owe Tanner a bet. I need to make clean on that. Even though I'm the champion now, I do need to make clean on a bet. So I walked.
That's me handing it over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did walk into the local liquor store today, and I thinking, man, if I got to take 2 shots of something, I've wore my palate out on tequila and bourbon, which I still love those things, but just not. So I'm walking up and down the aisles, and I pick something, I take it up to the register, and the guy goes, "Well, that ain't Kettle One." I'm like, Jesus, thanks for making me feel like I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's not Kettle One. It's a long story, man. And I think he took it like I was buying it for a minor or something because he questioned me. I'm like, all right, I drink Kettle One. This was I didn't want to tell him I lost a bet and I have to take 2 shots of something.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Speaking of that, and it's been in the freezer since I got off work this afternoon and got questioned by the old man at the liquor store if I'm buying this for minors, I felt like. But I've had this before, and it's good, and it's been years. But we're going to have some peach moonshine.
Oh, good call. Good call.
All right.
Old Smoky peach moonshine.
Yep.
It's not as potent as the stuff you buy in the black market, but it's still pretty good.
It can still, yeah.
The peaches are really good here in about a week once I drink all this. That sounds bad. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. By the weekend.
Yeah, because remember, there's no KOP next week because we'll be in Indy.
Well, maybe I'll have some on the way down and the way back.
No.
Anyways, so I owed Tanner 2 swigs. So cheers.
Bottoms
Tanner,
up.
to win the bet that these guys could not put their shit aside and make millions of dollars. But I still won the KOP championship.
You did.
Yeah, and just think his heart got broken again tonight because he still had hope for All Out, and that got shot to the wayside within about 15 minutes of Dynamite.
What are you talking about? I still had hope for All Out.
No. Shep had
I
hope.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
He said if it didn't happen at All In, he wanted it to happen at All Out.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Well,
most of them were doing business together. It's just the main equation doesn't want to.
The main equation.
and guess what? Guess what?
It's a good pickle.
Where's he from?
Chicago.
He's a fib.
Yep. Wonder if they use real glass. All right.
That'll get you choked out. Careful.
All right.
All right.
I didn't want to touch up.
Tanner, hold on. I do have a Baby Gap shirt ordered for you.
All right. Thank you. Perfect size.
Medium.
Perfect size. Medium.
Baby Gap.
I do love my mediums. Maybe we'll touch on the Punk Jack Perry stuff at the end. I don't feel I was going to go off on a tangent now, but we'll wait. We'll wait. Maybe we'll hit on it. Maybe we won't.
I'll get us all fired up when I get on my tangent in a little bit.
Yeah, but Dynamite started off not with Orange Cassidy. He was in the main event tonight. Started with Mr. AEW, the guy I think that represents everything there is in AEW, Jon Moxley versus Commander.
Yep.
And I enjoyed this match. I thought this brought out a different side in Commander than we've seen.
When this started, I went, all right, they're not even going to make it to the first commercial break before this match is over. It's not going to be an exact squash, but it's basically a squash, and that was not the case.
Well, the crowd
15 minutes.
Yeah, and the crowd went pure pro Moxley to chanting Commander's name at one point. So, I mean, the guy was doing something right tonight. In the end, Moxley did pick up the win. I don't think that was ever in doubt, but Commander put up a lot more of a fight than I ever thought he would. And the way Moxley won, he didn't pin him. He forced him to tap out with an arm submission. So, typical Mox there. So.
Yep. It was a good match. I don't think Mox matches up well against luchadors.
Right.
But this one worked. I think maybe Mox would match up well against Penta because of the size. Yeah. Penta's a big luchador. Commander's on the smaller side or the typical size of a luchador. So, but it worked. Mox, and I know a lot of people harp on him.
Which I don't know why.
he can adapt to who he's working with.
Very
I know
well.
A lot of people don't think he can, but I personally think he can. And the reason I personally think he can is because you take somebody that's sitting on the couch drinking a Kettle One. Hey, I drink Kettle One while I'm watching Kettle One, just to let you know. You take a guy sitting there drinking a vodka and going, wait a minute, this guy's entertaining me right now. If he's entertaining you, then he's doing his job.
Yep.
If I'm thinking, man, these guys are botching it or whatever, missing spots or whatever you want to say it if you're not a wrestling fan or whatever, going, this just doesn't work. This doesn't look good. Doesn't look in sync. And then, okay, then they don't mesh. But Mox can work with anybody.
Right.
So does he have the physique that they harp him on? No. Can he hit hard? Yeah. So,
yep.
Yeah, it worked. He can adapt.
At least we didn't see the skewers tonight. Gosh, that always makes me cringe when they do that.
That's a little.
Yeah. But
skewers or the pizza cutter or the
yeah, there was some crazy spots in that Stadium Stampede match the other day, but
glass punch.
That was pretty cool. We then saw a video package from backstage at All In showing FTR confronting the Young Bucks and asking why they want to shake their hands. For everybody that might have missed it, after that classic tag match, FTR went to shake the Bucks' hands. The Bucks went kind of heelish Bucks and said, nah, rolled out of the ring, went to the back. Bucks admitted they were just disappointed, but they then apologized it, and then then apologized for it right when it looks like they were going to make up and shake hands. Bullet Club Gold appeared. They said there is room for winners, so Young Bucks should leave. FTR suggests them and the Young Bucks face Bullet Club Gold at All Out, so we're getting a 4-on-4 tag match Sunday. Didn't see that coming.
No. It wasn't a 6-man. Sorry, Shep.
If we're going to break down the segment was good if Juice Robinson and Jay White talked. If the other two would shut the hell up.
That's what they want. That's what they want them to do.
But I felt like they talked over.
Yeah, they always do. Always do.
He's trying to set this up, and he has the experience to do this.
Yep.
And the other two douchebags are just talking over him. It's confusing coming through the TV. So, I mean, I get what they were getting. I get it. But it took them 10, 15 seconds longer to get it through because the dumbasses wouldn't shut the hell up.
It will be really interesting if Punk is suspended, which that's the rumor. I haven't really seen an official report, but that's kind of what's been reported out there. So if he's suspended and can't be at Collision, the reason they did a pre-tape tonight, being in Chicago and everything, they probably didn't want the Bucks out there, even though they'll be out there Sunday. Do we see the Bucks finally appear on Collision to further this with Bullet Club Gold on Saturday?
One thing will tend to that, and that's the pre-pay-per-view buys, which I know, and maybe I'm one of the few. If the pay-per-view starts at 8:00, I'm getting my dinner and I'm sitting down at 7:45. I'm buying it, right?
Yep.
But there's a lot of people that buy it on Friday, Saturday. That way, you don't have to worry about the traffic crashing.
Right. BR Live sucking like it always does.
Easy, Tanner.
I hate that app. It's not as bad as Peacock, but it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Well, Peacock's bad too.
Yeah.
But so I'm pretty sure Tony's privy to those numbers, and he sees the pre-buys.
Yeah.
So he knows. I think that will influence the way he writes the show Saturday.
Yeah. And probably who's available. And I don't envy Tony. He's got a lot to figure out in a couple of days. So,
well,
hey,
here's the thing, Tony Khan. And I don't want to like make his head inflated. Okay, but he's got enough money,
right,
to do what the hell he wants to do.
You're right.
So if he wants to prove a point and say, I'm done with your stuff, Punk, I can make money without you, And if I don't make money and I break even, guess what? I'm still a billionaire because I am who I am. I don't need you, Punk. So at some point in time, you have to outweigh the money compared to the pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And when the pain in the ass outweighs the money, that's when you say, deuces, I'm going to go have another another cup of coffee, and I'm going to write my wrestling show.
Yep. I got a lot of thoughts similar to that. I'll wait, and we'll get there eventually. So we'll get through Dynamite first. We saw Toni Storm shown backstage with Renee Paquette. She said she's very happy for Saraya, but she went off script in her performance, and now she has no title or friends. Storm says Ruby Soho hates her now, and she can't trust Saraya. It's safe to say Wembley went tits up. Yes, that is a direct quote she said. She walks away saying she can't trust anyone, including her shoes, which she threw at Renee, which I'm like, all right.
Renee sold that awesome, though, by the way.
She's a pro's pro.
So this is the new character, I feel like, who debuted on Sunday. And she's trying to be like the Marilyn Monroe-esque type person. So I felt like today with her promo, with the hair curled and everything, it was an act.
Yes.
Like she's going to be the actor in this, or the actress. That's her new, and maybe that gets her away from the outcast and starts her on her own.
Yep. I think we see official split between those three on Saturday at Collision. So that's my guess. Then see Jericho come to the ring. He was talking about All In, how he enjoyed the spectacle and the majesty of it. But then he feels bad how he treated Sammy, his brother from day one. So he calls Sammy out, apologizes to Guevara. So he saw what he did with the bat, so he apologizes for not thinking Sammy did enough. And he holds out his hand. Sammy shakes it, says he's always had his back, and a little push won't break it up. But then Jericho says he's been thinking about what he could have done, or maybe Sammy could have hit Will Ospreay harder. Guevara makes Jericho say that again. He points out if Jericho had hit Ospreay a little harder with the Judas effect, maybe he could have won the match. Jericho says sometimes that he asks Guevara to do something that doesn't turn out how he envisioned it. Guevara asks him if flying to London and leaving his pregnant wife to have his back, and Jericho points out that people in the locker room would have killed for that spot. He's been thinking if he wasn't so worried about, but Sammy said if he was thinking if he wasn't so worried about having Jericho's back, maybe he could have wrestled on the card itself. While Jericho says if he follows his advice, maybe next year he'll be on it. And Guevara, they're just going back and forth. Guevara says he will learn how not to lose on the biggest show they've ever done. Jericho says it's getting out of control. They've been together from day one. They need to get back to what they do best. He wants to reunite the Le Sex Gods, go after what they've earned, a chance to become AEW Tag Team Champions next week. He wants to start that road, and Sammy agrees. So next week in Indy, we're getting Le Sex Gods against To Be Determined.
You left out when Sammy mentioned how he lost the title. I popped a little bit for that.
Yes, he lost the title at
Outback.
Outback.
Right? Yeah. If you're Chris Jericho, what the hell are you doing at an Outback? Yeah.
I completely forgot about that till he brought it up tonight.
I didn't.
So,
I'd rather go to Red Lobster than an Outback. Come on.
This threw me for a loop, though. I thought we were going to get these two at All Out. I think I even predicted that like a month ago. And
I thought that's where it was building.
Yep.
And
so if you guys remember our experience last year in Indy, there's one tag team that stood out.
Oh yeah, Turbo,
Yes.
and they're in the
they're in
the ROH Battle Royal.
I'm telling you right now, we get Turbo and whatever the hell his partner's name is. We get Turbo versus the Sex Gods next weekend because Turbo is the money.
that would be great.
I thought for a second you were going to say they're going to win and face Better Than You Baby at All Out on Sunday.
I mean, you talk about a hell of a push. I mean, I think the Turbo guy on social media has gained some traction.
They both follow us, I believe. The KOP, that is.
Well, they're smart individuals.
Yes, they are. They are.
They do the back then they did the Elevation and Dark.
Yes.
And then they always were on the main show as security guards.
Yep.
With their hair pulled back and this and that. So
I believe they were just on NWA's pay-per-view too over the weekend.
Oh, the NWA 75.
Yep, which
Your boy Billy. Your boy Billy.
at least he took the belt off Tyrus, and that guy had to retire.
What's Turbo's?
I've never wrestled a match in my life, and I think I could be a better wrestler than Tyrus.
He mailed it in. He mailed it in. He was an athletic big guy back in the day, but now, I mean, he hit the ropes like.
Oh my god, that was the worst rope spot I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. That reminded me of Hogan and Big Show chair shot.
Pretty bad. Well, while Shep's doing some research here, get on to the next match. It was Eddie Kingston defended his NJPW Strong Openweight Championship against Wheeler Yuta. Fun, hard-hitting match here. Yuta had some heat coming out. They had to cut the mic crowd off. The FU Wheeler, FU Yuta chants were going pretty loud. Wheeler started off slapping Kingston, which fired up Kingston, of course. But Yuta was focusing on the taped elbow of Eddie's, dropping him to the mat, stomping away at the injury, dropped several knee strikes to it. But sent Kingston to the ring post, but Kingston fired back with a chop, tried and create some separation, but Yuta responded with a senton. Back and forth, keeps going on. Finally, at the end, Yuta withstood the first half and half suplex and spinning back fist connected, and then he asked for another, and he's like, okay, did it again and retained the title. So
yeah, it was a pretty good match, especially coming off of Stadium Stampede for these two.
Oh yeah, and then after the match, Claudio walked around the ring, completely ignored Kingston despite the fact Eddie was trying to call him into the ring for a fight. So they're setting that up for the next ROH pay-per-view. Pretty sure.
Yep.
Which makes sense.
All right, they're called the Outrunners.
There we go.
And it's Turbo Floyd. I just think these are just great names. Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. The Outrunners.
Yes, I hope they are there next week.
The question becomes, will Dan the Dad show up? Or
boy, Dan the Dad has been a social media stud. We saw him, and he had really good matches with Orange Cassidy on some independent shows. So hopefully we see Dan the Dad back, because he was a crowd favorite.
It'll be interesting without Dark and Elevation, who we see. Well, I mean, because we'll still get a Dark match, but then Dynamite and Rampage. So it'll be interesting.
I think last year, obviously we go live at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, but they started wrestling somewhere around 5:30, 6:00 Eastern Standard Time, because we got there 6-ish, and they were 6:30ish, and they were well into it.
I thought we got there at 7.
I think we got there closer to 7 because Tanner didn't even.
Paul must have been a slow driver.
You were driving.
You drove down.
Damn it.
It was Tanner. We were supposed to meet at your employment place there at 5:00, and he didn't roll in till almost 5:30.
Nah, I don't remember that. Don't remember. Don't know what you're talking about.
Once it wasn't my fault.
Don't know.
No, it was Tanner's.
Case Snitsky. Wasn't your fault.
Well, hey, so just this has nothing.
I was trying to get a spit take. I was trying to time that perfectly, Paul. I almost got it.
You got close.
Almost. Yeah.
Almost.
I know we're talking about a podcast and we're live, but next Wednesday we probably need to give us a little 30-40 minute advance because of Paul's governor and his road construction right now.
Oh, good call.
Oh, yeah.
Good call.
My governor. I dropped us explicit 30 minutes in. Jeez.
Save that for your SmackDown recap.
Yeah.
Don't you interview all those guys in your normal job, Paul?
No, I pass that off to other people now.
Oh,
I'm too important. I pull a Shep and just sit in my office and do nothing.
I don't do nothing. I mean, I look at YouTube videos and figure
Listen to
out what I'm
podcasts
figure what
and
I'm gonna have for lunch. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Important. That is that
mean,
that
you get-
sets the tone for the rest of the day.
You get around 10 o'clock in the morning and your coffee's gone.
Yeah.
You're going, my coffee's gone, but what the hell am I gonna have for
Mm-hmm.
lunch here? It's a big decision.
It sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, back to Dynamite.
yeah.
We get a video of the new ROH Tag Champs, which I still can't believe these guys actually won that. I mean, it's awesome. I just never. I mean, good for them.
Kangaroo kick.
Kangaroo kick was amazing.
It was awesome. It was MJF, Adam Cole backstage after the match said there will be a battle royale on AEW Rampage to decide who they will face them for ROH World Tag Team Championships at All Out. Then there will be a tournament to see who faces MJF for the AEW World Championship at Grand Slam, which is taking place on September 20th. So he's taking a week off.
I loved it.
Yep.
I loved it. I'm gonna go to France and bang some rats.
it was perfect with his social media post. I don't know if it was yesterday on Monday. There was Eiffel Tower, and he said looking for some rats. So
I thought it was a great segment. I love that he bitches that Adam Cole makes him wrestle so much.
Yep.
Wrestled more in 3 months than I've wrestled all year.
I loved it, which I think he uses that because coming into this year, he was really harped on that he didn't wrestle so much. And his first match back, Bully Ray and the Busted Open guys really tweaked on him or harped on him. And I think he took that to heart. So I think he's trying to work more. But yeah, he's not going to let you know. Like, he's going to spin it off like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And it's all your fault that I'm working. I worked 2 matches. I'm beat up, I love the ice pack on the shoulder.
Oh, it's in the way he's carrying himself now in the post media scrum, even on social media. Like, he thanked everybody pretty much in the company, but then wanted himself to get the most thanks. I'm like, that's awesome because he's leaning in towards the tweener or kind of the face. I keep thinking, when's he gonna break all of our hearts? I'm just waiting for it. I hope I'm wrong.
I think
Sunday.
You get Adam Cole to break your hearts and make him a bigger heel and MJF the biggest face. And when I say the biggest face, and I might get some shit for this, okay? They might compare him to the Attitude Era Rock or Stone Cold.
Yeah.
He might get those type of pops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think Adam Cole's a great human being. He might be one of the, if not the nicest guy in AEW, but and I'm glad the crowd's got a chance to cheer for him most of this year as a babyface, but he plays a better heel.
Oh, yes.
The snarky heel, that's him. So
Now, I don't know.
I do.
A better person in AEW, I'd vote for Eddie Kingston.
And he's a good dude too.
All right. Yeah.
He's a good dude too. Hey, he's one of the reasons the Bucks came back. Nick Jackson said so yesterday in his Instagram story. So
Yeah.
yep. But they don't like each other, remember? Storyline. So.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston doesn't like him.
Eddie doesn't like anybody.
He doesn't like anybody.
Yeah. Speaking of Adam Cole, we then got story time with Adam Cole, baby. He came out, thanked everybody for making All In the most special night of his life, but wasn't quite perfect. The loss in the main event hurt him, but he knows one day he'll get another shot at the AEW World Title. He said MJF's banged up, but he will be ready to go. And then Roderick Strong and the Kingdom make their way to the ring. Roderick says Cole cares more about MJF's neck than his own. Roderick comes away from this just as a Shivani said, call the wambulance. I mean, he comes away like a whiny bitch in this thing.
Ambulance.
Which I love the commentary when he said wambulance and Taz and Ekka were like, what?
Yeah.
What's a wambulance?
Yeah. But I like this whole segment because Cole's saying it's getting absurd. He doesn't know if it's because he's listening to the Kingdom, but Mike Bennett cuts him off, says he's doing story time, tells crowd to shut up, takes him back to 2010 ROH, and they compete against each other, and they got each other's jobs. They felt like they were bonded to life after that. He says they picked up each other during their worst moments and celebrated their best, but Cole cares too much about what the fans think and not what they meant to him. Taven then pipes in, says this is who Cole is. He needed the Kingdom to take over ROH, but then he jumped ship to the Bullet Club to get the merchandise money. Then he went to Florida and surrounded himself with friends to prop him up to hold the title. Now he's latched on to MJF because he thinks that's his gateway to the AEW World title. Cole said he's sorry if he made them feel that way, but he has learned that it's important to be understanding regarding friendships, and they need to accept that MJF isn't just his friend. He's his best friend, and Roderick Strong says he's not going to accept that. He's entering the Grand Slam tournament to do what Cole couldn't do, and that is beat MJF to become the AEW World Champion. He will do it with his friends by his side. Cole says it's a bad idea as Strong's neck is not in good condition. Roderick says he doesn't need a roll-up or a diamond ring or a neck that is 100%.
Roderick sucks on the mic.
Yeah, he's not that great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what kind of, I was going to say, I love the fact that he can't even remember MJF's name because he's like, I'm going to do what you did and I'm going to beat MJF.
He was stumbling, you could tell. He was trying to remember. Yep.
Now, I think Matt Taven,
he didn't get handed a script. That's the problem.
No, I think Matt Taven could be, I wouldn't call him $1 million, but I'd call him 500,000. Like, I think he's got super potential, and Bennett could be really good too. I think Roderick Strong brings those two guys down right now.
Well, and it's disappointing because when he came into AEW, I was praising his in-ring work, but his mic skills are a little lacking.
Yeah, and I do not like this whole neck thing, jealous thing. Does not help him out one bit. We've seen him on the independents in the last 3 weeks, wrestling. He comes to the ring with the neck brace and he rips it off and has a great match.
Right.
He was in PWG 3 weeks ago, I think. In fact, I think he wrestled Daniel Garcia. If he had to look me up on that one. But yeah, that it just doesn't work. It doesn't play right. Matt Taven and Bennett, I think they're individual stars. They have some obviously ROH legacy, so they have some clout there. But I think they can. The Kingdom is not a bad faction, as long as you keep Roderick off the mic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they got some big time TV time tonight on Dynamite. So I like the callbacks, ROH, and I know ROH is owned by AEW and Tony Khan, or owned by Tony Khan, I should say, not owned by AEW. But I like the callbacks. They don't shy away from mentioning things about other companies and promotions. So
no.
Yeah.
And they made a comment about when he went to Florida.
Right.
When Adam went to Florida,
And they brought Bullet Club, which was the actual Bullet Club in New Japan. So
said he did it for the money, basically.
Yep.
One of the best part of this segments had nothing to do with talking, but I thought Matt Taven's purple Jordans were on point.
Yes, he had some fire sneaker games tonight.
He did.
The AEW locker room as a whole does pretty good with their shoe game.
There's
quite a few guys.
They spend a lot of money.
Stupid amount. We then got the lone women's match of the night, 6-woman tag, Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose.
Go ahead.
This is why you're on the read.
It's Emi Sakura and Marina Shafir. Yeah, it's not that hard to pronounce.
Sakura, right?
Emi Sakura, yeah. Who's been around AEW a bunch for a long time. I don't know why I stumbled on that. So,
and so, you know what Sakura means, right?
No.
In English. It means fast forward.
Ooh. See, Paul was a big fan of this women's match tonight. So. But Paul's a big Statlander fan.
Really? I want to hear this.
No, I enjoyed it. All right. I enjoyed the storytelling. Britt and Sheeta were just in the Fatal 4-Way women's match Sunday night. They tried to work together, had a couple slip-ups where they were hitting each other by mistake. It was that storytelling. It's planting seeds for something. And finally, Britt Baker has gear that actually looks halfway decent. And then, of course, I enjoy watching Statlander. She's a talented wrestler.
Undefeated. this year
Now,
so
the other
far.
team, I could care less for anybody on that team, but your
I think Shafir's got a lot
babyface
of
team was
potential.
good.
I think Shafir's got a lot of potential. But did you guys know that is Roderick Strong's wife?
Shafir?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know who wears the pants in that relationship.
She beat the shit out of him.
Teach their own. Maybe he's into that. Yeah.
That's why he's got a neck brace on. He's hiding the marks.
Oh, no.
But in the end, the babyface team won. Akira Shida, Chris Statlander, and Britt Baker. After the match, Shida and Baker argue backstage, which they never get along. And then Ruby Soho hits the ring, nails Statlander with no future, leaving her laying in the ring before their match Sunday at All Out. Backstage, we see Callis, and which I forgot to mention earlier. Callis tried to confront Sammy Guevara. Guevara pretty much told him to F off and get away.
Well,
Was the scar even redder tonight than it had?
Yeah, always,
Yes.
every week.
every week it gets darker.
He might have an infection. He might want to get that checked out.
You might get some penicillin.
Callis then is showing Takeshita all of Kenny Omega's injuries and the moves he should hit to exploit that. So, sounds like a HIPAA violation to me.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't get rid of that medical information especially on public television.
Right? Yeah, it's Callis. He doesn't care.
I hope he gets arrested next week.
We then we saw the Acclaimed surprise Billy Gunn. They came out good rap like always out of Caster. Daddy S is back. He says last Sunday was a really good day for them. They became the trios champions. Caster says 80,000 people witnessed them capturing the titles, but they thought it was fitting. They came back to Chicago where 1 year ago they lifted up the Acclaimed to the next level and promised to lift these titles up to lift the division. That is why he wanted to start things with a ribbon cutting ceremony. Billy Gunn joked that Caster only has a little one, scissors, and they should use his big one, scissors. And Gunn then cuts the ribbon. Bowen says this is their house now. They welcome everybody to the House of Ass. Bowen says these titles are dolls, so they have a surprise for Billy. They claim then surprise Billy with a new custom title. They have a hot pink leather strap. On top of that, the strap's also scissor at the back, with Gunn claiming he can just scissor himself now. Bowen says they need to break them in, and on Collision this Saturday, they're going to defend the titles, which we found out is against Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the titles. I was fine with them going back to gold, because the House of Black had the black and silver ones. Gold was fine, but the pink straps just remind me of a crappy WCW title.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think the scissoring
The scissoring's cool. That's cool on the
that
back.
makes the title.
Yeah.
What belt are you talking about? The pink title in WCW?
No, they didn't have. The design of it made it look like WCW 2000,
okay.
like when they started just having weird belts and designs. But the claim's over. The claim's over though. They move merchandise, so I get it. We then got the main event: Orange Cassidy defending the AEW International Championship against Penta El Zero Miedo, with the winner going on to face Jon Moxley this Sunday at All Out. It was weird seeing Orange in the main event, but I know we talk this guy up all the time on the podcast anymore. I don't know why I ever doubted the guy. I ever spoke badly of the guy because he just produces every single week. And these two had a fun match. Hard-hitting match. Another match that Orange barely squeaks out at the end. Penta dragged Orange to the middle and stomped on his arms. Everybody going after the hand, going after the arms. Snaps it backwards before hitting another Fear Factor. But Orange kicked out. Penta was shocked, and in his shock, he kind of lost concentration, and Orange quickly rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3.
Dude, Orange had more tape on his back than a third grader's art project.
Isn't that the truth?
And towards the end, he just ripped it off and threw it. But
Yeah.
But after that, Orange cuts a pretty good promo for Orange, one of the longer promos we ever heard him cut, pretty much saying he's going to defend this title all the time. Well, we'll defend it any time. It means more to him than anything. Says talks some trash about Moxley. Moxley comes out, gets in his face. Orange smacks him. Moxley just smirks and gets in his face even more. So, do you guys think this main event's Sunday, or what do you think as of right now with the 8 matches we know? What do you think main events? So I feel like even though MJF's your champion, I feel like you can't have him and Adam Cole main event because it's for the ROH tag titles, not anything associated with AEW.
I think it's either this match or it's the 8-man tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards that 8-man tag.
Yeah, which if that's the case, there better be a big payoff afterwards, leading to something. So, but fun main event, like I said, and Penta. I feel bad for Penta in singles competitions. He always brings it, but he barely ever gets the W's.
Yeah,
but I mean, you gotta remember, Penta was an Impact World Champion.
Yes, he was,
and they did not. I remember. I mean, that's been a long time ago, but I remember watching some of that, and they didn't let him talk. They didn't let him do anything, but they put the belt on him. And I think it was because, again, he's a bigger luchador and super athletic,
intimidating looking too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a heel, if I'm not mistaken, in Impact.
And the guy can go, obviously. So I'd like to see him a little bit. I would say more of a singles wrestler because Phoenix is so good and they work so good together, obviously being brothers, but
yep. I agree. Well, with Dynamite's review complete, I want to hear your guys' ratings. We'll go with the non-champion of Paul first.
Loser. I mean, non-champion.
Yeah, no, loser. I was third place. I'll admit that. I sucked it all out. But hey, that's okay. Man, this didn't do much for me. This is another low one for me. It's a 6-3. I was not impressed. I mean, there was.
Wow, this is gonna be a flip-flop here because I thought the show half-ass was entertaining. Now,
it had a lot to live up to because last week, Paul, I know you weren't on the pod. Austin, I thought that was AEW's best go-home show they've ever done last week.
I agreed with you guys 100%.
Coming off of what we saw over the weekend, I thought they did a pretty darn good job. Obviously, you're not going to have guys like you didn't have Punk on there, whether he be on there or not because of Dynamite versus Collision.
No Jack Perry.
No Jack Hollywood. No Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, which whatever. No Darby, no Sting. I still thought the show was pretty darn good because of the matches. Man, this one's tough. I'm going 7.1. And I'm usually the low guy. I'm the negative Nelly here, but I wasn't bad.
This is 2 pods in a row I've been pretty low, so.
Yeah. I'm going to be the middleman here. Not quite in the 7s, but I'm not as low as Paul. I'm going 6-8. I mean, like I said, last week was such a high show for me. This week, and I should give Tony, some credit because I'm sure there was a lot of moving pieces. I mean, he wouldn't have made that tweet tonight if not ahead of the show. And of course, backstage drama probably screwed up some plans. And we still have Rampage and Collision, so it's not really fair for me to rip the All Out card just yet because it's probably not finalized. I mean, there's only 8 matches. When has AEW ever had a pay-per-view with 8 matches?
We're gonna get 2 matches here this weekend.
Yeah, so our predictions will be screwed up, but that's okay. So I'll go 6-8. I thought the show moved at a pretty good pace tonight. I just going into Sunday. I mean, I'm going to order it, of course, not only for this podcast, but I love watching AEW and it's Labor Day weekend and everything. But this is probably the least excited I've been going into an AEW pay-per-view. But I was really pumped going into All In. So, yeah.
I think this pay-per-view we get the surprises.
I could see that.
I hope so.
Well, I would think if Punk isn't there, which let's be honest, right now it looks like he's not going to be. That's got to be a fired up United Center crowd. If Tony's got some strings to pull and some surprises, he better do it. Because you do not want that crowd to hijack the show.
And they will.
There's one free agent, some Canadian guy.
I think I know him.
Yeah. I don't know.
Never heard of him.
I'm kind of on the edge, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Honest to God, guys, I know you don't want to hear this, but if Punk's out for a while and Tony feels like he really needs some buzz, he needs to do whatever he can to get Mr. Adam Copeland in, get Mercedes in whenever she's ready. And this is the one I know you're gonna hate. I think he's got to try to get Goldberg for a couple matches.
No,
I think he's got to to get some buzz and some ratings.
Tell you what, if he brings Goldberg in, I quit drinking Kettle One.
All right. Look at Paul's face.
Yep, that's how serious.
All right.
I will.
Man.
I will quit drinking Kettle One. I'll quit drinking vodka.
You better pick up another drink then, because
We'll get in some Punk
This
talk.
wasn't that bad, guys. It was. I don't think I want to eat the fruit out of this thing.
Yeah.
But
Yet.
this
Give it some time. We'll get into the Punk talk, but first let's do the all-out predictions, shall we? Let's
All right,
predict all
let's
out.
do this.
The 8 matches we have so far. This is tough. I'm not gonna lie. This because we don't have a lot of time to think about it.
Whose idea was this, by the way?
Yours?
Yours.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Tanner
But-
hadn't even picked anything for you yet. You
That's
just
fine.
picked it up.
That's completely
I thought
fine. 'Cause-
I got to pick my own shots, right?
yeah, that's fine.
Tanner picked his shirt. I got to pick
I never did a stipulation for it, so I'm sure there'll
maybe
be other
that's- I don't-
opportunities in the future.
Knowing you two, yeah, I'm not a betting man, so
Actually, the more I drink, the more that is actually not bad. I'm
All
scared
right.
to drink the fruit out or eat the fruit out of it, but yeah.
just
we
eat one.
So we got 8 matches. We will start off. I don't know what order these are going to be in, so I'm just going down the list. I have start off with Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro.
I'm getting. Hey, just to let you know, I got my official book here. So this was last week's championship paper. So
Yeah, better
usually,
frame that.
Usually I rip it off and throw it away, but no, we're just putting it around the back.
I just have a folded up piece of printing paper. That's how
Whatever
good I am.
works. Who wants to start off?
I think the champion goes first, right?
All right, champ. Take
Have
it
at
away.
it.
I got Miro over Powerhouse Hobbs for 5.
Okay.
I'm letting you write, Tanner, before I talk.
Paul.
Just try to be nice. I got Miro for 8.
You guys are pretty confident. I also got
Miro's too hot right now.
I got the Redeemer Miro for 1. Because
Ooh.
Miro got the upper hand on Hobbs the other day in the interaction on the 0 hour. And Hobbs was getting quite a push there for a while. And then they just stopped it. So I don't know.
But it's Miro.
I know it's Miro, but I mean, this could do a lot for Hobbs if he was to get a win, but I'm not confident enough to put Hobbs winning. But I don't know. I can see it going either way. So that's why it's my 1 pointer. All right. The ROH TV title Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor. This was just announced tonight.
Go for it. Go for it, Paul.
Oh, I got Joe for 7. I don't think it's time for Joe to drop this title yet.
I have Joe for 7 as well.
I got Joe for 5. So far we've all agreed, but I've been the low man on both. So. All right. TBS,
Yeah, that also means if we agree on other stuff, you're eventually going to be the high man.
That could be. TBS Championship, Chris Statlander defending against Ruby Soho. Nice little rivalry going on for about a month or so.
Go for it, Tanner.
I have Chris Statlander for 4.
I have Statlander for 6.
I have Statlander for 8.
She's had it since what? Double or Nothing. So
90 some odd
I
days.
thought maybe because I could see them if they do pull the trigger on Ruby from a storybook standpoint. Then Ruby and Saraya have titles. Tony doesn't. That could take Tony down a dark hole.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that, but I'm still
But-
sticking with my guns on this one.
Yeah, Statlander is undefeated right now this year. So I keep wondering back in my mind, when did Jade get to come back? Maybe that's a surprise return Sunday.
I read a lot of things where she might not come back.
I know she's saying that, but I keep thinking she's trying to throw everybody off. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We then have the TNT title, Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus, the real TNT champion.
I got Luchasaurus for 4 points.
Paul?
I got Luchasaurus for 5 points, and it's gonna be a dirty win. Christian's gonna get involved. He's not gonna go over clean.
I got Darby Allin for 3.
Oh boy.
All right. So
I
that
don't
could
like
be
it the more I
deciding
think about
match.
it, because I think they really like having Christian involved with this. But also, if
There's no Sting, so
unless he gets involved
Yeah.
to even things
Well,
up.
I feel like anytime Sting's involved in the match,
Yeah.
whatever it is, they make sure they go over. But
If Darby was to win, this would make him what, a 3, if not 4-time TNT champion, and right up there with Guevara, and maybe they eventually have a feud again. I don't know.
is this Luchasaurus' first title defense?
I think he's had a few defenses. Oh, he defended against Lance Archer.
Okay,
Did
well, it's been a while.
Or is that somebody else? I don't know.
It's been a while. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's been a while. Better Than You, Baby, MJF, and Adam Cole versus to be determined the winner of the Rampage Battle Royale, which, if you look at the team graphic, I think there's only like 3 teams that realistically probably have a chance to win that thing.
Outrunners.
Outrunners, that would be great.
Best friends.
They're one of them that probably has a chance. Them, the Hardys,
Yeah.
Aussie Open, getting a rematch there. I could see that.
I'll start us off. I went Better Than You, Baby for 1.
I went Better Than You, Baby for 6.
Oh wow.
I went Better Than You, Baby for 8. I think they're milking this for all they can get.
Yeah.
We then have a good rivalry here, personal rivalry. Takeshita versus Kenny Omega.
Can I point something out? You guys are going to laugh at me. Have you ever seen how they spell Takeshita's last name?
Yes.
Yes.
Trust me, that's how I pronounce it when I'm not on this podcast.
And I got to thinking, Takeshita's been around for about a year, and I can't remember if we've ever brought this up.
I don't think we have, at least on air.
But I look at it and it's like, it's take shita. Take shit.
It's a PR spin, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's
Well,
like
I looked him up earlier today, and I'm like, somebody's messing with his Wikipedia page. Like somebody's trying to be a funny. But
Nope, that is how it is spelled.
I saw it on TBS tonight, and I'm like, okay, they're not messing with him. But so we got Take Shita versus Kenny Omega. Oh well, sorry, that's mean. I should make fun of a guy that
Could probably kick your teeth down your throat.
Well, he probably could kick my teeth down my throat, but I probably shouldn't make fun of a guy that can't speak a lick of English, has crooked ass teeth, and has a funny last name. That's mean. Everybody's gonna think I'm an asshole now, aren't I?
you are definitely the heel of this podcast.
Yeah. Both Tanner and I have tried it. Every time we fall short to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
All right, champ, who do you got?
Just because I don't want to take a shit. I'm taking Kenny Omega for 2.
Paul.
Take Shitta for 4. Why not? I'll just pronounce it like it's spelled tonight.
I got Kenny for 6.
Whoa.
All right.
I don't know. I don't.
Kenny's on a losing streak
I
here
know he
lately, and I think it continues Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like Takeshita's got the upper hand over him already a few times, so Kenny's due.
Oh, Kenny's been due, but you know.
Well, speaking of Kenny, how about Kenny's buddies Young Bucks and FTR versus Bullet Club Gold?
Go for it, Paul.
I've got FTR and Bucks for 3.
I have FTR and the Bucks for 3.
See, the Elite have been killing me on predictions lately, so I'm going Bullet Club Gold for 2.
Oh, bang bang gang!
I don't know what they're trying to do here story wise, and maybe FTR and the Bucks kind of get into it and cost each other the match.
All right, I can get behind that. This was one that I had a hard time predicting, but FTR's been on such a roll here lately. It would seem weird for them to take the L on a pay-per-view against the Bang Bang Gang.
It's hard for an 8-man tag to go clean finish, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep. And then lastly, Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley for the AEW International Championship.
Well, I'm looking at all of our answers, and it's pretty much simple. I got Mox for 1.
All right, so I was literally unsure what I was going to do on this one. This one, you
have 2
circled
points
it. Oh yeah, it's for 2 points. I'll give you that much. You're right. It's for 2 points. But I was waiting on everybody to join this after the quiz when I finally decided on Moxley.
And Tanner, looking at yours, you're gonna have 2 points on this as well.
Not 2. I just did 2 for Bullet Club Gold.
Oh shit, you did. Sorry.
I'm taking Moxley for 7.
You don't have a 7 on there.
Mm-hmm. I'm either gonna kick ass at this or get my ass kicked. There's no way around. It's gonna be one way or the other. So
after looking at this, I picked Mox for. I hope OC wins.
I think OC's reign's been amazing. I think if anybody has to take it off, Moxley makes sense, and Moxley will defend that thing all the time.
So, well, after the promo we got tonight,
that's when I really was like, all right. I was, believe it or not, I was leaning orange in this until that promo, and then I was just, it made me question way too much stuff, and I can't get over it. I had to go Mox.
Yep. Well, good luck on Sunday, boys, because this is gonna be an interesting one, and like I said, more matches probably get added, but that's what we get for having a pod on Wednesday nights. So we do have
let's do this.
Yep.
Let's do this, and we'll watch. Most of us will watch Saturday night, or we'll catch up.
Right.
Let's go by 12 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
Let's just say there's going to be 2 matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with 5 bonus points of those 2 matches, maybe 3, whatever it is. And we'll do a text group, and Tanner can relay it to social media.
Yep.
If they announce a extra match out of these 8, we'll pick between the group. No bonus or wager points, but we'll do
no confidence points, but
we'll do a 5-point bonus.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm up for that.
I like that. That's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
And if we don't get any, then I made myself look like a fool. But
I think we're going to get some. It's Tony Khan.
We'll get at least 1 more.
Probably get 4 more. Let's be honest.
I can't. I mean, maybe we get Tony Khan versus CM Punk.
Hey, it could. And right before I get into the Punk talk, we have a comment on YouTube and by Kyle Miller, and if he wants to explain himself, like what exactly he's saying here, I'd be all for it. Maybe you guys can help me here. But he said this is like if WrestleMania Night 1 being advertised as the Roman match and Night 2's only match mentioned is like Dom versus Finn for some title, and you can't even see it as the main event, so who knows?
Comparing All In and All Out.
Okay.
All In being Night 1, All Out being Night 2.
I completely get what he's saying.
That makes sense. Thank you.
So. We had a mega main event for All In.
Yeah.
And right now we have MJF working the ROH tag titles.
Yeah, that's quite a drop off, right?
So nothing against the ROH tag titles.
Hey, no problem at all. No problem at all.
Hey, Kyle, you could hang out with my friend group. I'm just saying right now. Anyways, yeah, you got him working with the ROH tag titles, and he's your Rock, he's your Ric Flair, and right now he's in Paris banging some rats. So
yep.
He's got a point.
No, he does, and you know the guy. And we'll get right into the Punk stuff because this is going to relate to my Punk discussion. The guy I feel sorry for right now is Ricky Starks. Because the whole reason they had his storyline suspension on Collision was to keep him off All In. And he was supposed to, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, he was supposed to be the main event on All Out against CM Punk for the Real World Championship this Sunday. And now who knows if he's even going to be on the card.
Yeah. Hopefully they can find something for him. But, I mean, you're not going to get Jack Perry. You're not going to get Ricky Starks. And I think that's why we're only currently sitting at 8 matches is because TK's going, all right, what do we do?
You got to figure some stuff out that was planned now. And
I can't set this match up at Collision like I wanted to.
Here's my whole thing with the Punk. I mean, it's once again the backstage drama is overshadowing a great pay-per-view, the most historic pay-per-view AEW's ever done. And I don't really care. I think both of them probably deserve a suspension, from both sides of the story. Perry, Punk. Perry shouldn't have said what he did about the glass on the 0 hour. But at the same time, it's like Punk has made a career for himself by dropping pipe bombs, taking shots at people. And now all of a sudden, the last couple of years, he can't take any criticism from anybody without wanting to fight and punch people and stuff. And I understand he feels like everybody's gaining up on him, which I'm sure there's some of that, but also there's a lot of guys that have his back. But I really, when it comes down to it, I kind of blame Tony Khan for all of this. Last year, there was a lot of things that led up to Punk and the Bucks and the Brawl Out that could have been prevented if Tony just set Hangman Page and CM Punk down together in a room. He and Jack Perry have had beef for a couple months. To SRS of Fightful Select's knowledge, Tony's never sat down with either one of them.
Well, now let me be the asshole in the group.
What else is new?
You're CM Punk. You're one of the top 3 stars in the group.
Mm-hmm.
You could give 2 shits about Jack Perry. Now, not saying that he is not a potential future star. Okay? But he's Jack Perry. He is he's a little 8-pound Yorkie dog nipping at your heels, and you're CM Punk.
Yeah.
So who gives if he wants to come and start chirping at you? Yeah, put his ass in a chokehold and get over it. Like, I'm CM Punk, you're Jack Perry. Nothing against what you've done in the past. You have the potential to be a really good professional wrestler and make a lot of money. But you need to listen to guys like CM Punk and not try to fight them. So as much as I think CM Punk can be an asshole, I'm going to lean towards CM Punk on this one right now. That's just me.
I kind of see both sides to it, but I'm getting so tired of Punk always in the headlines for backstage drama, and at some point, it's like there's a common denominator in all this.
Yeah.
It is, but could you imagine if you're sitting in Gorilla and you're Triple H, and let's go 15 years ago, you're Triple H and Carlito comes up and starts talking shit. Dude, Triple H is going to backhand him.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring up Carlito because I watched a thing with remember when Carlito was leaving with Tori Cool and Ric Flair ripped his ass for leaving that, and it was a promo. Kind of reminds me of what I feel like Punk and Jungle Boy are going through.
Yeah.
Like, you need to respect what's going on here, Jack. I'm CM Punk. I've been there, done that. Yeah, I can be a prima donna bitch, but I'm still CM Punk. I'm still one of the biggest draws in this game. Gotta take a seat, bro.
I feel like Punk thinks he walks on water in this company, and I think, honest to God, if it was any other person on the roster except CM Punk, I think they're gone by now. But Tony knows, and it's also not just AEW. It's Warner Brothers Discovery, who wanted this Saturday show surrounded by Punk, or centered around Punk. So Tony's in a tough spot. But also, it's been reported that Warner's very aware of the latest ongoings. So I believe Punk's only got a 3-year deal, but that was without injury time and suspension time tacked onto it.
But
I mean,
does Tony Khan have more money than Warner Brother?
no.
Well, I mean, if he talked to Ted and he said, "Look, I'm going to do what Eric Bischoff did," he might have gotten a check kind of like Bischoff did. So he might have some Warner money there.
But
I mean, his family. When we talk about Shaq,
okay, nah, yeah,
that's what I'm talking.
I mean, technically, Tony could just have Punk stay home, keep him under contract the whole time, and still make money off merchandise and licensing and stuff.
Yeah, have him do interviews or something.
Now, my prediction is I don't know how long these suspensions will be. Punk will be back, but I feel like he's just caused problems ever since he came back.
Is this strike 2? Do we give him one more shot? And if he does it again, all right, you're done. Go home. Keep the title. I don't care. Go home. We'll see you at the end of your contract when, we write it off.
Especially when he's getting paid, which I'm sure he's being very well compensated.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and again, Tony Khan can afford to do that. So,
I mean, we might never know what exactly happened. There's a lot of different sides, different reports out there. It's just kind of like Brawl Out last year. Don't know if we'll ever know exactly what happened. But it was interesting. It's been reported Brody King supposedly broke his hand over this, being frustrated. Supposedly punched a wall. Brody King and CM Punk are pretty tight. So,
okay, if nothing else, keep Punk off of all shows with all in the name.
Well, I think you're kind of onto something there, because I think Tony thought, if we keep Punk on Saturday nights, nothing bad's going to happen. Well, now it's proven a couple times when you have all talent under one roof for pay-per-views and stuff can still happen.
Well, you make
if it rhymes with brawl, no Punk.
Or you make a good point, Tanner. If Brody King punched a wall, hurt his hand or whatever, and he's a CM Punk supporter, that just tells you that Jack Perry came in as a whiny bitch and upset the apple cart.
Well, Jack probably should not have said what he said, but
right.
It's still this. I mean, like I started off this rant, Punk has made a career off saying things worse than that, and it just seems like he can't take anything anymore.
Okay, so if you're a student of the game, which you would think Jack Perry is,
Yeah,
then you should know that. And maybe I'm being too old school and too hard headed, but unfortunately, Jack Perry hasn't done what CM Punk has done for professional wrestling. Is what I'm trying to say.
you're correct.
Right. You are correct.
So there's got to be a little bit of respect there, instead of Jack Perry just thinking as a 25-year-old kid, whatever the hell he is, coming up and trying to get in the face of CM Punk. Like, you're 25 years old. CM Punk is 40 plus. Like, know your role and shut your mouth. Right?
Unless Punk started it after they went through the gorilla, but also Jack Perry knew what he was doing when he said that, and he knew Punk was coming up next to start the show, so he knew there was probably going to be a confrontation.
Which we didn't even talk about it during that. I mean, we almost had to.
Yeah, they were scrambling to move matches around, which supposedly pissed off Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's like, this match is huge for me, which I wouldn't want to mess with Joe.
Out of all people, I think Samoa Joe could screw some shit up.
Yeah, so I was glad they at least, got through it and got the match done. Got a comment from Kyle Miller here. He said he's thinking the two wrestling nerds they are, Punk and TK, are playing 4D chess on everyone simply by telling the other to do whatever they need to do to get people talking. Could be.
Yeah.
Because I will say, even though the Punk news and drama gets tiring, it does get people talking about AEW.
Oh, it does.
It does. I mean, because Punk's that big of a star.
He is.
And it all goes back to TK. Like, if you read any of the dirt sheets, any of the media, it all goes back to him. So
I'm sure the roster was probably eye rolling a little bit, like, here we go again the other day, because I'm sure some of them are just sick of it. Because that's one thing I know Paul and I were texting. I don't think you were involved in the text shift because I think you were still watching all in and we didn't want to spoil anything for you. But we're saying, here we go again. We're going to be talking about the backstage drama instead of what was a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. When they went to the dressing room, they probably high-fived and giggled like schoolgirls. That's what Kyle Miller says on YouTube.
I like Kyle's thought process right now.
It could be. But unless you guys have anything else you want to cover on, what are we going to call this? Brawl in now? We got brawl out, or we going to call this brawl in?
Yeah, we got brawl in.
That's why I said if it rhymes with brawl, keep Punk off of the card.
If it's just the two of them in on it, they are the two I could see. Keep it between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Paul, before we wrap up the show, I know you wanted to go on one rant tonight, so I will let you run with it now.
All right. So first off, we could, play that intro of what do you want to talk about? Well, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about SmackDown.
No Cody this week because nothing's really happening.
Well, Cody was on SmackDown, so we could still play that. Cody, probably the only individual to have the honor/dishonor, if you want to call it that, to speak on the show of both the passing of Brody and Bray. But he was there to talk about Funk. This was originally planned for him to be there to talk about Funk, so that's what he came out to do. And then he very, very heartwarming or heartful, I guess, heartfelt promo from Cody regarding Terry Funk and the things that him and Dusty did and many other wrestlers. But they were talking about how hardcore Terry was. And so Cody had the honor of introducing the next match as the Terry Funk Memorial Hardcore Tag Match. All right. Now, Shep, you're normally the one who gets us the explicit. And I'm telling you, Tanner, just mark it because it's coming.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
This was not a fucking hardcore match. There was one table spot. There was one person who got involved in this. This is not how you pay homage to a wrestler like Terry Funk. You want to call this thing hardcore, you need chairs, you need ladders, you need blood. All right. You want to see a way to pay homage to Terry Funk. That goes hats off to John Moxley and everybody involved in the Stadium Stampede. That was a tribute to Terry Funk. You had barbed wire, you had ladders, you had the almost identical branding iron that Terry Funk used to carry around. Yes, Kyle, you had the smart choice there of turning the TV off, because this thing was so far. This was a tornado tag match with one table spot. All right. You might as well just put them through the damn announce table and called it a day, because that's basically what they did. This was so disappointing. I looked at this and I'm going, Terry Funk is rolling over in his grave, and so is anybody else who's ever done anything hardcore related.
Just an egg sucking dog.
You can buy that shirt though.
Yeah, I can.
Dusty sucks eggs.
There was somebody sitting there. Damn it, pal! This is good shit.
No,
yeah,
no, he couldn't have said that.
I bet he did.
He probably loved it because, but the even the problem was during the match they paid more tribute to Bray. They had the one who wears the glasses in the Street Profits. I don't know, the sunglasses, the skinnier one of the two.
Dawkins.
Sure, the one who wants the smoke.
Dawkins, isn't it? I don't know.
Yes.
Worst rub ever? Question mark.
Tanner, you're supposed to back me up on that when I say Dawkins.
I think Dawkins is the bigger one.
Damn it!
I don't know.
I think I get him confused. I don't follow the product enough anymore.
Know, but they made he made a reference to Bray during the match, so you had more tribute to Bray during a Terry Funk memorial match than you did to Terry Funk. I mean, that'd be like me saying,
if you're gonna have that match, you're gonna have it at 2300 Arena in Philadelphia with that crowd plus some barbed wire plus some tables. You're not gonna have glass tubes because Terry never did that.
No,
but yeah.
Unfortunately, Paul, that is WWE's version of a hardcore match anymore.
I know you can't have blood, so you can't have anything that. Well, yeah, or maybe Cody occasionally.
Yeah,
you can't have fun.
No.
Did I say that?
You can't. You can't. But I mean, you could have had a chair shot at least. All right, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not recreate the Impact thing, Yeah, obsolete, delete.
Hey,
funniest promo ever, though. Oh, yeah. But, I will give props to LA Knight. He only worked with Bray a handful of times, but he had a very heartfelt promo for Bray.
Yep.
But I cannot get over that tag match, man. God, don't say it's in honor of somebody and then shit on it like that.
You should know by now not to get your hopes up with the WWE.
I didn't even get my hopes up. They said it was a hardcore match, and I went, no, it's not. You can't have blood. It's not hardcore.
I agree with Kyle Miller. Stadium Stampede was the unofficial send-off for Funk.
Yes, absolutely. With the branding iron, the barbed wire, and the ladders, and the chairs, and that was the unofficial send-off for Funk.
Yep, that was a fun match. And we didn't even talk about Santana looking like a whole different person now.
Oh, man. Dude's jacked.
I said that last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I might have texted it too, so I don't know.
My memory's bad.
You guys got to
dude is jacked. Yeah. I'll stop drinking my lemonade.
You need a new cup, by the way. Anyways,
well,
that's all right. That's all right. No, there we go. There you go. Keep it on that side.
Yeah. All right. Just try not to promote the county we live in, okay? Not that it's a bad county. It's just, it shows where we're at. Well, two out of the three of us.
People could think that's Georgia.
Tanner does not live here anymore.
That's true.
That's why I said 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Oh, and they could think we're Fulton County, Georgia.
Which nothing big's happened there lately either. So.
Yeah, it's just raining.
Yeah, just raining.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap this week's show up?
Kettle One sponsor us.
Yeah, Kettle One sponsor us. Hey, still here. Now, I feel like
Kyle's got a question real quick. Orange Cassidy goes after the NJPW title off Kingston when he costs him his title Sunday. Ooh. That Mox in the storyline.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Mox wins.
I didn't even think about that.
Kingston. Yeah. All right. I could get behind that.
Because I think most people probably think if anybody interferes, it'll be Claudio, but I like that wrinkle.
If Claudio comes down, Kingston's going to come down, and then that's how you could have OC lose, is because he's watching that.
Because I could see them taking the title off OC without a clean finish. That makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I was going to talk about is being such a big weekend for
wrestling.
Yeah, there's a huge GCW show, and the main event is Nick Gage and the Kingo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of confused on this one. Normally, I'd be like, "Oh, this is great," but he's
gonna do a 450 on light tubes.
Can Nick Gage go like this? I don't think he can.
Can Vikingo get that hardcore?
He's young enough. He's athletic enough. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I don't think Nick Gage could, unless it's just a slow down brawl bloodbath. I don't see how Nick Gage looks good in this match. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Nick Gage never looks good. But this one could be worse than most. So
yeah, it is an interesting one. I think GCW's been throwing out some interesting matchups lately.
They've been on a roll, and they have some really, really good guys right now. Some really, really good talent. But this one just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So you got that this weekend. You got Payback, got All Out. I don't know of any other shows. I know Impact just had a big one, and NWA had their what they call a big one last weekend. Yeah, still a lot of wrestling to watch this weekend on top of college football. Kyle Miller said have Claudio and Kingston being killers together or become friends after being killers together for 6 months.
I think there's real life beef between those guys. I don't think Kingston will ever like him.
And he said let Mox have a jealousy streak and show up in a 3-way fight at next year's All In.
Well,
yeah, there's a lot of angles. I'm all for Moxley getting some gold back on him. It's been a year, so, and I'd like to see him have a different title than just the world title. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Paul, anything else you'd like to hit on?
No.
Nope.
No. I mean, unless you're ready for me to close it, I can hit on a few things in the close.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I think we've
wrap it up, Paul.
Covered everything.
All right. So I would like to remind everybody to check out kickingoutshop.com. It is your place to go for some great merchandise, support a great podcast, and look fantastic doing so. Or, like I keep telling Shep, there's a pint glass on there he needs to buy so he could drink and support KOP at the same time, but it's too small for him. So
it's kind of
yes, but right now you can use promo code ALLIN for free shipping through September 10th at kickingoutshop.com. So head over there, get your merchandise now, and get free shipping. And be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out Podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star rating because we are 5-star KOP. Be sure to follow Tanner Lee on all social media at Tanner Lee 92. Follow your current KOP predictions champion till Sunday, Austin Shepard at the Shep 27. Be sure to follow the guy who comes in third place at every pay-per-view, myself at Paul Zartman 921. And with that, for Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us in 2 weeks as we kick out another podcast because we'll be live in Indy next week. So watch for us on TV.